goes through our proverb.
As the program goes on, her mood shall lift.
When an elephant is in trouble,
Yeah.
even a frog kicks him.
Even a what?
A frog.
Yeah. Damn.
Mr. Ade, when an elephant is in trouble, even a frog kicks him. Imagine a frog kicking an elephant.
Yeah, that's I've never heard that one before, but I guess it's like if you were once up at the top of your game, you were somebody important. When you're down and you're no longer, everybody then criticizes you, has a go at you, and says, oh, you know, all the things they didn't dare say when you were the man or the woman, you know, the person who was at the top, things they would never have dared say. Now everybody's coming in and saying, it happens, it happens. It happens in all spheres of life, politics, sports, music, you know.
Exactly. Yeah, so, I mean, it's very significant. I can see Korka want to be part of the program here. You know, well, we have a whole lot of confused...
Korka's studio talk.
Exactly.
To replace Korka's street talk.
Absolutely.
Nice one.
So, Jenaba, now you forget about yours.
Actually, me...
You've just been overtaken.
So some mornings are not just meant for people sometimes.
It's one of those
so
mornings.
another one just happened.
Yeah, one of those mornings. You know, when I was leaving home this morning, I actually had a feeling when I said to myself, it's going to be one of those days.
Yeah.
You know, I had a bag, I had some fruit in it. As I lifted the bag, all the fruit spilled out and the oranges ran under
wow, that's a very
chair.
Inconvenient situation.
You know, because I was rushing to meet
my God.
You know, the couple of colleagues that, you know, I gave them a lift in the morning and I was rushing to meet them and then had to go under the chair and retrieve the oranges that had rolled. And I thought, is it going to be one of those days?
And I am pretty sure if you go home, you thinking you've picked the oranges, you'll still find one.
No, there were two. So I know that I picked up both of them.
You picked up both of them?
Both of them, yeah.
Wow.
Okay.
But I did ponder and I thought, oh gosh, is it going to be one of those days? But to go back to our proverb, which was so interrupted by the studio talk, yeah, I think sometimes when you're at the top and you're no longer at the top, you know, people who would never have dared criticize you, they'll come in, they'll criticize you, they'll knock you, and they will all feel, now I can say what I've always wanted to say to this person. They're no longer going to be in a position to threaten me, attack me, kill me, whatever. So, you know, when the elephant is down, even the frog will say, you, boy, I've always wanted to give you a good kick now.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I'll kick you.
But there are situations that people kick other people, not because of, what they experience from the individual, but what they heard, you know, that people said about these people, okay?
Yeah.
Now, all right, maybe if I am already in trouble, another man will try to see me that way, will portray me that way without even maybe engaging me to know what my problem is, what my trouble is.
Based on gossip and rumor.
Exactly.
That word again.
Exactly.
But yeah, you're right. I mean, because sometimes people can end up forming opinions about other people, negative ones, sometimes positive ones. They don't even know the person. And you'll find them attacking people and so on. And I have to say, since the advent of social media, people think they can insult people they don't know anything about based on, you can write one sentence, just one sentence, and suddenly 20 people are insulting you as if they've known you all their lives or you've known, you know. And I always intervene when I see that kind of nonsense happening. I'm like, you don't even know this person. They're just expressing an opinion about one thing. Why do you now think that that gives you permission? But social media seems to invite that people think they can be insulting and demeaning to people they don't know and they've never met, you know. It seems to open up, and it's one of the things I don't like about social media, this kind of mob attacking of people attacking one person because they think, oh, you know, this person is down, let me kick. Because everybody else is kicking, you know, and so it's kind of, if you relate it to the proverb, I think social media has shown that tendency in human beings, the kind of mob instinct when they think this person is somebody who I can attack, let me attack because 100 other people have attacked them, you know. So I've never liked that, and even when I was a child, and I hate it even more now, you know. But yeah, it's life, it's human nature.
Yeah, unfortunately. So we'll go for a short break now?
Yeah, let
Yeah.
us.
You didn't tell us your own.
It's the same as Ade's.
Yeah.
I had a lot to actually say about the proverb, but I think it just evaporated, unfortunately.
Just like that.
Just like that in
Well,
the
maybe
air.
after the break it'll come back.
Yeah, so let's just go for a short break and we'll be right back.
Technology has always been at the forefront of our lives, and the way we use it has evolved drastically over the years. With the advent of 5G internet, we are entering a new era of technological innovation that promises to transform the way we live, work, and play. 5G internet is capable of providing data speeds up to 100 times faster than 4G, making it the ideal solution for streaming high-quality videos, playing online games, and downloading large files on the go. 5G internet is already transforming cities across the globe, powering smart cities, self-driving cars, and virtual reality experiences that were once thought impossible. 5G internet is also paving the way for Internet of Things, allowing for seamless connectivity between devices and the creation of a truly connected world. For the first time in the Gambia, QCell is bringing tomorrow's technology to you today with the launch of QCell 5G Internet. Get ready to experience the out-of-this-world wonders of QCell's 5G Internet. For more information, call 111. QCell. We innovate, others follow.
The future is now with QCell's 5G network. Experience speeds like never before with our new 5G Rocket Fixed Internet plan. Get speeds from 10 Mbps to 100 Mbps. Your 5G-enabled device. Walk into QCell headquarters to get one of our 5G routers and experience the true feeling of 5G. Only with QCell. QCell brings you the future of tech innovation.
Welcome back, Mr. Adik.
Let's chill. Let's
yeah,
chill.
just yeah.
Let's chill and
I think so.
You know,
let's chill, baby.
When people look at, they say when you look at a duck and it's on the water, you see it gliding. What you don't realize is that furiously underneath the water, it's going like this. It's like that on a TV program. People don't see all the stuff that goes on,
that we go through
that
to
go
give
on
them
behind
a
the
good
set.
show.
All they see is, and so we have to be ourselves. We have to be professional, and we always have to give our best to the audience. Because,
which we always
do.
do.
People could be doing something else.
Exactly.
They're not. They're watching us. So we have to give them our best.
Which we always do,
So
actually.
in that vein, I am insisting that I want to know your interpretation of the
Well,
program.
honestly, it's the same interpretation
Really?
as
Okay.
yours.
That's
yeah.
very unusual.
Yeah,
so normally
it
you
is.
take a
different one, but
different
I guess,
She-
like you
she is
said.
always the best interpreter here.
Well, I'm not. I don't think so.
Yes, all right. So, I mean, you know, it's the same thing. Like, I mean, even if you see how the proverb it's been outlined, it is direct. It's telling you if you are in trouble, you know, anything can happen. People can do anything to you.
Yes.
So it's just a matter of, I mean, focusing and pushing. You know,
Well,
you
you
know,
know-
there is light at the end of the tunnel.
Well, and you know, in West Africa, we have this saying that no condition is permanent. You hear it a lot in Ghana, in Sierra Leone, here in the Gambia, and it's kind of like that. You know, so sometimes when you get to a certain elevated position, they say to you, "Don't be too conceited, don't be arrogant, because you never know tomorrow. The person that you are being dismissive towards today might be your boss tomorrow, you know, and then what? If that person decides to take revenge on you, then, you know, where are you going to find yourself? So, you know, no condition is permanent. And so even the elephant might be the boss one day, but one day they might not be the boss. So, yeah.
All right, so any paper?
So what do we have?
Jenna?
I'm trying to check.
I have
Why don't we have a good
copy of
sports
the
story?
Standard
There's a
newspaper
good
here.
sports story.
Supreme Court affirmed death sentence for baby mama killer.
Oh.
And of course, we also have Gambians can now travel to Maldives.
The Maldives.
Maldives.
Yes.
Mr. Ade, stop fooling us. It's not Mal, it's Mal. M-A is Mal. M-A is not M-O.
It's the
Is that the
Maldives.
pronunciation?
That's the pronunciation.
Yes, without visas, you know.
Okay.
Advisor confirms Barrow will be NPP's candidate in 2026?
I think that's been widely,
Circulated.
we're not breaking any secrets here.
Yes.
It's been widely circulated
Yes.
over the weekend, so that is nothing, you know, it's not a surprise.
Okay.
To see that headline.
NRP NAM tells government to tackle deportation, and of course we also have KMC urges to create market space for business women.
Yeah, can we go to the deportation one? Because I've said this 100 times, that ever since I came to the Gambia has a particular thing about deportations. Even when you speak to Gambians, no Gambian believes that another Gambian should be deported from particularly Europe, which is where most of these deportations seem to happen, no matter what, whether they've been there illegally, whether they've committed criminal acts. I've never understood that sense of entitlement, that because this person is a Gambian and because they are over there and they might be sending remittances, that even if they're there illegally and have been found to have gone through the system and the courts have found against them, they should not be deported. In a way, I understand it, but at the same time, there's a kind of ridiculous logic to it, you know. And what has happened recently with a lot of Gambians in a lot of countries, they all said that the reason I fled the Gambia was because I was an activist against Yahya Jammeh.
Bad governance.
Yahya Jammeh is no longer here. And so that excuse no longer exists. So it's actually, you saying you're not coming back means that that's not what you were running away from. But it's too late to change your story now because that's what's on the record. It happened a lot in England when I was in England.
Well,
I would get invited to these immigration hearings and I would sit there. I would usually smile because some of these people, you know, Yahya Jammeh had never heard of them and they'd never been involved in any activism. But it wasn't my place to say, you know, so I would just keep quiet. And it was the same in Sierra Leone. When people were saying I was running away from the war, when the war was over, they no longer had that reason or excuse. And, you know, they wanted to stay because they'd found a good life, a comfortable life. And of course, most importantly, they were sending money back. And so here in the Gambia, I think within about a month of me arriving, there was a big demonstration because it was rumored that Germany was going to deport 350 Gambians. I don't think they ever did in the end. They deported some, but the rest of them are still there and they're still fighting. And people like the National Assembly member is still, people are still agitating that, you know, the government should do something. I'm not sure what the government can do. You know, it's up to the German government, these governments in these various European countries to decide whether they're going to do anything about it. But I think generally here in the Gambia is that under no circumstances should any Gambian be deported from anywhere ever.
Well, it depends. I think, what about if the Gambian residing in that country, if the person did not get the required documents to live in that country?
That's what I'm saying.
You know, I think, I mean, people need to think. I mean, I had a lot of people blaming the Gambia government for allowing people to be deported into the country. You know, but I mean, the thing they don't know is some of these people that are residing in other countries, what they do is hide and seek game. What they do is they keep hiding from the police. I mean, the day they are apprehended, that's the day they will plan to send them back to the country. But there are reasons why people are deported.
Yeah, I mean, if you come from Africa, you come from West Africa, and you live in anywhere in Europe, you become aware of it. I had many friends who had gone and they'd overstayed. And this is not a fake story. One of my friends, when they came to look for him, he was staying with his cousin. And because they didn't have his picture, they didn't know who they were looking for. So they just asked, we're here to see, for argument's sake, Ibrahim Abalde. And the very Ibrahim Abalde said, I'm his cousin, and that ungrateful wretch, since he came to this country, he's misbehaved, and he's even moved out of my house. And they left, not knowing that it was the very Ibrahim Abalde that they were talking to. I'm serious, you know, and they never came back.
He disguised himself.
They didn't disguise himself because they didn't have his picture. They just had a name.
And they were looking for him.
But nowadays, because of biometrics, when you pass through, if they've scanned your passport, they have your picture. So it's much harder now to get away with that sort of thing, because if they come to the house, they will have a picture of the person they're looking for. In those days, I'm talking about in the 80s, they just had a name. And literally he was like, and in fact, he moved out of his cousin's house because he didn't want to risk them coming again in case. But he bluffed his way out of it. He just said, oh, you know, I'm the owner, and you know, my cousin, since he came to this country, he's just been misbehaving, and I haven't seen him, and if I catch him, I would deal with him. All kind of nonsense. But he was the very one. He was the very one.
Very smart.
So he was very smart.
There was a time in the Gambia where you can use Mr. Ade's passport and travel to any part, any country in the world. You can go to America, you can go to the UK. All that you do is to take Mr. Ade's picture, remove it, and attach your own picture. And you move, no biometric, nothing.
I could tell you 100 stories about this because I was so involved in it. Because in England, a lot of people who went would say that, you know, I can't speak English, I can only speak Creole. So I would always get invited as an interpreter. It was nonsense, of course, they could speak English. I always used to ask them when we were outside of the tribunal room. But one of the guys, who was a friend of mine, he was actually caught on the street. He was walking from his job, he worked in a hotel, and the police stopped him. And they asked him a question, you know, are you here legally or illegally? And initially he said, what do you mean? And the guy said, I asked you a simple question, are you here legally or illegally? He said, I'm here legally, of course. He said, in fact, I was born in London. And the guy said to him, the policeman said to him, he said, not with that accent. He said, that accent is in the accent of somebody born in London. He said, I'm giving you one more chance. Are you here legally? And like an idiot, he said, I'm here illegally. Now, look, if you're watching this, trust me, in England, they're not allowed to stop you on the street and ask you that question. Unlike the rest of Europe, in England, you do not need to carry any form of ID on you. You could walk. In France, you can't do that. In Spain, Italy, you can't do that. But in England, you can. You don't need ID. They don't have ID cards. In fact, people in England have fought against ID cards. So they can't just stop you on the street and say, produce ID or produce your status. Just say, go to hell.
The accent will tell.
Just say, yeah, none of your business. I'm not telling you. And that's what he should have done. But what was tragic about it was he had used somebody else's name to go. And I'm not kidding. His bank account had £10,000 in it. They deported him and they confiscated all the money in the bank account. You know, for all that money, and he was a hard worker, but all the money was coming, because it wasn't in his name. So he couldn't claim it, saying, it's mine. They were like, no, this is not you. You know, and they deported it. And then they tried to get hold of the guy, because the guy whose ID he was using had relocated back to Sierra Leone. And so he didn't mind this guy using his ID to live in England.
I've seen something on this paper and it caught my attention. You know, Geneva, it's important sometimes for us to portray the good image of our country. I mean,
sometimes, always.
Yes, I
Anyway,
mean, it's
carry
good
on.
sometimes to talk about the negative, but also the positive thing. This one said, Gambians are suffering from hunger. Honorable Seni Jawara.
That's the good thing.
It's not good.
What's good? You said sometimes it's good too. I thought you were going to tell us a good,
No,
good story.
What I mean is, it's good to portray the good image of our country to the outside world.
Right.
You know, imagine me sitting somewhere in another part of the world, seeing this. I'll be thinking Gambia, it's a hungry country.
Do you know that there are, let's for argument's sake, 188 countries in the world? Do you know that in many countries that would be the headline? It's not going to shock anybody. You'd say it in India, you could say it in parts of China, Sierra Leone, Liberia, parts of Ghana, Nigeria. It's not going to shock anybody.
Well,
like, oh,
the reason why
it's the way the world is.
The reason why I said we should look at this. There was a person from another part of the world. He came to the Gambia, and he was like, well, most of the time people talk about Gambia being a country of hunger, you know, people suffer. But imagine this food that I bought. I bought this food at a very reasonable price.
Yeah,
and all this food that you're seeing here, I bought it for this amount of money.
Yeah.
You know, and this food, you know, it has this and that, this and that and that and that. And people are still crying hungry in the Gambia.
You know, there's a group on Facebook of people who have moved to the Gambia. And if any of you go on there, because I belong to that group, because of course I've moved to the Gambia, what you will find is that many of the people there, they're not Gambians, and they're always surprised about why is it almost every Gambian they meet wants to get the hell out of the Gambia. Once they love it here in the Gambia, and they can't understand why every Gambian they've ever met is thinking, how the hell can I get out of my country? And they find it quite astonishing. And so you see some of the comments there like, oh, this is a beautiful country, it's so peaceful, it's this, it's that, which is what they like about the Gambia. And yet, as I said, almost every Gambian they meet, even somebody said it to me the other day, he said, if I get a chance to leave, I will leave and I'll never come back, just yesterday, which is kind of depressing. But, you know, you get a lot of that. So sometimes we have something and we don't appreciate what we have. And literally, you always think the grass is greener on the other side of the fence, and you go there and you find it's not that. You know, I never try and stop people or dissuade them, because people say to me, oh, you lived there for so long, you will say that. So I always say, yeah, go and find out for yourself, if you can, if you have the means to do it. No problem, go and do it.
You will compare and contrast.
Yeah, and then, you know, you wonder why people like me can't wait to come back to this part of the world.
My girl went to the UK and she came back. She said to me, it's not like the way you people think that. It's not the way you people.
That is true.
but yeah, you were there for a short time. But if you'd lived there for long, then, you know, you might change your mind. Because there are a lot of things, to be honest, there are a lot of things that when you're over there you take for granted. Because, you know, like last night at home, the lights went off 5 times. 5 times between 9:30 and 1 o'clock in the morning. 5 times the lights went off. You almost never, in fact, if it happened once in England for 5 minutes, it would be the biggest headline the next day. You know, never mind several times a day, which we all experience. You go home, you switch on your tap, the water will flow. You switch on the lights will come on. You know, so we take all these things for granted. You know, as for internet, the internet there is like properly super fast. Like properly super fast. As I found out when I went last March, I thought, oh yeah, I'd forgotten how fast the internet can be in England. So all those things, you become comfortable with them, you know, and you kind of just sort of blend in with it, and you get used to it. Why wouldn't you? Life is easy. You get on any bus, any train, it's free Wi-Fi in England now. Free Wi-Fi. You don't have to pay. So you don't even have to have Wi-Fi in your home. Just sit on the bus all day, or sit on
at the bus station.
Or at the bus and train stations. Yeah, and it's free Wi-Fi at the train stations as well. You know, you'll have a sign there with the password. You just log on. And so people can work on the go all the time. It's mainly because of that they do it, so that people can always work, and you don't have an excuse to say, oh, I didn't have Wi-Fi, I didn't have this and that. Like literally, you could exist with having no Wi-Fi at home and still be able to do your work every day. Yeah.
Oh boy, I think that's all.
So people get used to that, and why wouldn't you? You know. So yeah.
Yeah, but thank you so much, Mr. Ade, for joining us. I think we have to let you go now.
Thank you, and let's hope tomorrow whoever is doing it will have proper physical newspapers that we can touch and feel and flick through.
I hope so.
Because I wanted us to mention the young Gambian who's just signed for Newcastle.
Yeah, you should maybe
Big
briefly
signing.
before you go.
Yeah. I mean, you know, Newcastle are one of, because of the Arab money that's gone into the club, they're now one of the richest in the Premier League, and they came 4th in the recently concluded Premier League season, and they are going to be a force to be reckoned with next season. I expect them to be challenging for the championship. So the fact that they've signed a young Gambian, 18-year-old, Esson Yassi and Kajaga, say that they know him very well, and very skillful winger. That's a huge thing. It's a huge thing, and in fact, they're going to loan him out for this season to Feyenoord in Holland. But if he makes the grade, then they'll bring him back, and he'll be the only Gambian playing in the Premier League, which is the most watched league in the world. So yeah.
Wow,
That's big.
Well, I'm seeing most of these players too, big stars, are moving to the Arab leagues. I can see Benzema also moved to one of the clubs in Saudi Arabia.
There's an article today which has gone across all the sports pages in America, because in America, even though football, soccer is big, it's not as big as some of the other sports, basketball, baseball, and so on, American football. But what the article is about is the fact that Lionel Messi has turned down a 3-year contract worth $2 billion to play in Saudi. He's turned it down. He's going to America instead. And they can't believe that that kind of money exists in football, because no sports
He turned it down.
He doesn't want to go and play in Saudi. Yeah.
He will go. He will eventually.
And
go.
he's actually joining Inter Miami, which is David Beckham's team, by the way. David Beckham is the owner, and they are one of the worst teams currently in the major soccer league in America. Major League Soccer in America.
Maybe they are paying him good money.
Well, they're paying him, but also they're not paying him anything close to that. But also Coca-Cola and Apple are going to sponsor his wages, so he'll be the highest paid player in the whole league. But it's nothing like.
Messi.
But it's nothing like what he'll be getting if he'd gone to Saudi. So sometimes money isn't everything. I mean, Ronaldo went there for the money, obviously.
Messi go to Saudi and forget about America.
Yeah.
All right.
Thank you so much, Mr. Ade, for joining
Pleasure.
us. All right, we'll just go for a short break, and when we come back, we'll be joined by the Media Council.
The future is now. With QCell's 5G network, experience speeds like never before with our new 5G Rocket Fixed Internet plan. Get speeds from 10 Mbps to 100 Mbps. Your 5G-enabled devices. Walk into QCell headquarters to get one of our 5G routers and experience the true feeling of 5G. Only with QCell. QCell brings you the future, tech, innovation, incredible speed. The future is now. For more information, call our customer care on 111. QCell, Sunyapus. We innovate, others follow. Terms and conditions apply.
QCell brings you the future with our ultimate bundles. Enjoy the best voice and data bundle plans in one package. Get unlimited data packages with flexible validity and enjoy what true internet feels like. Get 30 minutes of on-net and off-net calls with 5 gigabytes of data for just $350. Or get bigger bundle packages from 10 gigabytes to 20 gigabytes with over 100 on-net and off-net voice calls and enjoy the fastest internet speed in the Gambia. You can also buy 1-day, 3-day or even 7-day packages and enjoy unlimited data bundles with uncapped speeds. Just dial *343# today and experience the limitless capabilities of the QCell network. *343# should be your favorite code to dial now. For more information, call our customer care on 111. QCell, we innovate, others follow.
Step into the Espas Motors showroom for your luxurious name brand vehicle. Located along the Bertil Harding Highway, Espas Motors is the Gambia's authorized dealer for Chery, Kia, Ford, and now we bring you the new Peugeot Model 3008 SUV. 18-inch alloy wheels, 216 inches high ground clearance, keyless entry system, start and stop button, rear parking assistance system with reverse camera, adaptive cruise control with speed limit, LED daytime running lights, front and side airbags, 8-inch HD touchscreen. Not to forget our exquisite Peugeot Landtrek double cabin pickup with 2.1-liter diesel engine, 6-speed manual transmission 4x4, hill descent control, LED daytime running lights. Espas Motors, the authorized dealer for Peugeot. Visit us today or call us on 35-2222 or 353-4444.
Welcome back from that short break. If you're just tuning in, you're watching QTV this morning. Ibrahim, I think we're heading right on to the discussion with the media.
Yes, exactly. I mean, we will now engage MS. He was supposed to be here with Emil Toure, but I know Emil is engaged into other things. We'll be talking about the media dialogue on improving quality content in the Gambia. Recently, we've seen a particular gathering being conducted by the Gambia Press Union and the Media Council. And it's important for us to engage you after that, the success and, how far have we gone. Can you take us through, MS?
Thank you very much, my brother and Jainaba.
Your brother's wife.
Your amazing co-host, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a pleasure having me. Yeah, the program was organized by the Media Council. GP just supported. We know the Media Council is the regulatory body that is responsible to look into the affairs of journalists in terms of ethics, content, which is part of it, which is key. So the program was held in 2 days, and the aim is to bring media stakeholders, which includes the media chiefs, the civil society, among other people, to come and discuss around the quality of media content. You cannot talk about media without talking about the quality. I think Jennifer was one of the moderators in one of the panel discussions. You know, because now if you look at the Gambia, there is a lot of media convergence, and we've also have people, citizen journalists all over. We also have people, individuals, social media influencers who does the work of a journalist, obviously, because obviously it's to disseminate information. So it's important to look into all those realities, because this is first of its kind, where media chiefs comes together, as well as other media stakeholders coming together to discuss around the quality of content. How should the content look like? What is the current realities in terms of the content of the media, in terms of combating hate speech, in terms of promoting ethical journalism, in terms of you know, making sure we deliver up to expectation. So what are some of the challenges, and what is the reality, and what is the way forward? And after the program, there was a communique, there was a sort of a resolution that emerged or emanated from the discussion, because we had even a lot of discussion around, you know, the employees and the employers, and also even the welfare of journalists, which also reflects, or media workers, which also has direct impact on the quality of media content. The discussion was around also how media chiefs can improve the welfare of journalists. Because if I am working for you, and obviously you are not paying me as you're supposed to, or probably you are not paying me what I'm worth, probably I might be prone to, you know, probably corruption, bribery, or even, you know, I might not be motivated. I can do whatever, just in the, you know, just for the sake of doing the work and getting paid the pittance. So those are kind of things that we discussed. It was a very, very important and fruitful discussion.
From your perspective, I mean, what are the current realities of the current media situation in the country?
Yeah, in terms of content, quality content, yes, we've seen improvement in other media houses, obviously, especially the mainstream media. There is a quality, because they also have their own internal regulatory mechanism, but I know it can be improved upon. Like, for instance, if you talk about the private media houses like QTV, you have also other media houses, you know, even GRTS, obviously, as the state media. But there are lapses also. We've seen that. Like, for instance, if you talk about content, it's not about just, you know, bringing in politics, you know, bringing in, you know, setting an agenda, just one-sided agenda. You know, we've also raised issue around the human interest story, which is lacking even within the mainstream media. You see more of workshops, you see more of, you know, inaugurations, you know, laying of foundations, those kind of stories. But there is no follow-up as to what happened next, you know, as to all those activities, how they have direct impact on the lives and livelihood of people. And also, we've also observed certain things during the discussion we came up, was the reporting is mainly concentrated at around the greater Banjul area, which is from Banjul maybe to Brikama. So we do not go beyond to bring the real lifetime situations of the people in the upcountry. You understand how government policies and programs are affecting their lives and livelihood. So we've observed that, and everyone is found wanting of that. You know, all the media houses, maybe you will report, but it's not as sufficient as other how we report issues around the greater Banjul area. So these are issues, and this is the current reality, and this was, you know, these were the things that were raised, and these were raised by media chiefs and people, you know, experts, and even GRTS was, you know, one of the panelists from GRTS even admitted that yes, and they cited certain challenges, which is it is expensive to do work, but if you look at the role of the media is to ensure that you serve as the voice of the voiceless. You create, you know, a platform where people's voices are heard. To create platforms where people will have the chance to discuss on issues that affect their lives. So this is a real problem, and we're hoping that it will improve.
So what are we doing to improve? I mean, you know, we're just hoping. I don't think that will solve the problem. But what are we going to implement to make sure we improve on that area?
Yeah, it's the engagement. One thing is to continue this. We all agree that it is something which is good, that we have to come at least maybe annually. And even by extension, I was even suggesting, I was discussing with the executive director and even the chair of the Media Council that this should not also be centered around only the media stakeholders, but also others, like for instance, politicians. You know, how do they perceive media content? And also what are some of the challenges that media go through because of the politicians and their supporters. You're looking at assaults, looking at safety aspect of it, you know, what can they do, and also the security apparatus. They should be part of this discussion. It should not just be limited to the media, the civil society, you know, and maybe a few other people who are doing citizen journalism, but it has to go beyond, because everyone should be there, both the opposition parties and the incumbent. They should be there to ensure that the discussion does not just revolve around, you know, so that we can probably have, you know, a national policy direction on media, or a national policy sort of on the safety of media and journalists, and also so that we can also hear from politicians. So the dialogue should continue. And the other thing is good that the media chiefs were there, including our guide, our boss, Mr. Ade was there, and he did a very good deliberation. And one of the things that were raised also is you have editorial policy within, but how many, you know, people around, or how many people understand that editorial policy that is internal? You understand? And how many media houses have that editorial policy? So those are the kind of things that we suggested that maybe the Media Council will do some engagement in terms of some of the resolutions that were there, directed to the media chiefs, directed to the Gambia Press Union, directed to the University of the Gambia, because there are a lot of action points that the GPU should also take up, which is part of which is capacity building that we are doing, but we will continue doing it. And also synergizing the curriculum, the journalism curriculum, like what university is doing, what Majak is doing, what Inside Training and other training institutions are doing, so that we have a unanimous, like a curriculum that is like, let's say, the same, more or less. Like, you don't need to start from Majak and go again, maybe you start from the university. What you do, you continue.
You continue.
Yes, you don't need to finish probably Inside Training and start again at the university. You need a continuation. So these kind of things that we really want to do, and GPU will take it up with the Media Council as a very relevant action point, because the aim of these institutions is to develop, if it's to develop the media fraternity and to develop content, because it's part of it. If people who are coming from the university are giving their best and making sure that there is quality content, if people are coming from Majak and also doing the same, then that is what we want. We want the development of journalism in this country. So why are we having different ways of teaching, different way of different curriculum.
Yeah.
With
I think it should
Yeah,
be
so I have a little question,
Yeah.
MS, in relation to the collective bargaining agreement.
Mm.
So why do you think there are very limited media houses that are signing up for it? Because I'm aware that it's only 6. So is it because the things that are entailed in it are not maybe favorable for media houses, or what's the problem?
Yeah, not actually. Might not be sure. But for me, one, I think it's a commitment. Other media houses are paying, even their standards is maybe above the collective bargaining, because the collective bargaining is saying 5,000 at least. You cannot pay someone working in the media less than $5,000. So some are saying, according to our research, that they are paying even reporters or maybe people who are working. If you talk about reporters and journalists, it's not only those who are in front of the camera, those who are also behind the camera are part of them. They are all part of it. So, you know, and also certain stages and qualifications are all recognized within the collective bargaining. For me, I think it's probably the commitment, and maybe some is the fear of maybe, you know, committing yourself and also implementing it. But we also realize that some of the media houses, they have their internal challenges. Like, for instance, maybe it's one person who will do everything. Like, for instance, you will be the accountant, you will be the editor-in-chief, you will be maybe the administrator. You understand what I'm saying? So all those things are things that GPU is trying to see how best we can support some of the media houses. But first is the commitment. If you sign to the collective bargaining that yes, and then GPU will look at the next step, what we can do to, you know, ensure that the media houses that are going through certain challenges in terms of marketing and stuff, how can we build their capacity to have that understanding so that they can also be viable. So these are some of the things. I'm hoping that the media houses will sign. Some of them, we've seen people who have committed, they've signed and they're implementing. They have started implementing it. Some have not yet signed. Even big media houses like QTV, QTV have not yet signed the collective bargaining. And I know maybe they are paying good. So I don't know why they are not signing it. GRT is the same thing. They've committed, but with the new leadership, we will approach them and then see how best they can sign it. Because this is, I think, this is very progressive, and it will help to create that better understanding between the employer-employee relationship, and it will be a guide. For instance, you will also motivate people to go and learn, because if you know that you are having a certificate in journalism or media work or whatever certificate you are having, you know, probably that might help in the increase, you know, on your pay. Meaning, if you have diploma, you will have more percentage. If you have advanced, you will have more. If you understand.
Yes,
so it
how
will
was this
compel
arrived
people.
at the 5,000 and the 15% that is added? Was it, you know, did you arrive at it like looking at the standard of living?
It's a research.
Okay.
It was a comprehensive research on the welfare of journalists. It was done by GPU and the UTG, but it was the GPU who initiated it, and then we brought in the School of Journalism and Digital Media. The dean was part of it, the research, and we realized that, you know, many journalists in this country or media workers receive less than $2,500, and which is at the lowest level. So we also did some consultation, even with media chiefs, and then we realized that at least a bare minimum should be $5,000 at least. But it doesn't mean if you
and
have...
when was this conducted?
It was conducted, I think, 2 years ago, yes.
But don't you think things have changed between 2 years ago and now with the 5,000?
I agree. It is subjected to review, but what happened is, let's start somewhere, and then from there because now even though we have this, and then still people are reluctant to to commit themselves.
Okay.
Yeah, so let's start from somewhere. You know, as a country, we know there are challenges. Like, for instance, some will tell you the market is saturated. You know, some will tell you now there is a lot of media houses, and some maybe what you might not accept, they might. So there are a lot of things, complex issues, you understand, in terms of marketing also. So, but I think we have to start from somewhere, then we go to somewhere.
Well, I think also you need to talk to some of the members, I mean, some of the staff. You need to engage them, because there are people that only want to sit on radio or on TV and talk, you understand, regardless how much you're paying the individual, or in fact, some are not even paid. Some will tell you, okay, I'm not looking for any pay, all that I want is give me time, let me do my programs. I think those things too are also killing, you know, the line that we are supposed to take as employees.
Yes, it's the responsibility of the media chiefs to regulate, like internally, obviously. If I have a radio, I will ensure that people who go, like who do those programs, at least, you know, have that capacity to do so. But you don't allow anyone to come, you know, and then speak anyhow, you know. And first, you will, the quality of your content will definitely be questioned. And how can you market a product without quality?
There are media chiefs that don't care about quality.
Yeah.
All they want is quantity.
Yeah, but it will affect your market. You understand? So, but these are things that we discuss, and the Media Council will take it up to ensure that whatever happened, though also you cannot say people cannot come, you know, freedom of expression is definitely complex, it's a complex issue. But you also have to ensure that whosoever is speaking, you know, the person is responsible of what he or she is saying, and ensure that it doesn't have any harm on the people, or any, like, it doesn't bring any chaotic situation, because we have to be responsible as broadcasters, publishers, or whatever. So I think for me, as a media chief, you have to ensure that there's quality in your media. Look at all the media houses that are ensuring quality. They are viable. But if you are not ensuring that there's quality, I think there's a problem. Yeah, and then, yeah, that's the case.
Thank you, MS.
Yeah, thank you so much, MS, for joining us. We hope that the resolutions from the event will be implemented accordingly, as we mentioned over there. But thank you so much for joining us. So we'll just go for a short break, and we'll be right back.
Technology has always been at the forefront of our lives, and the way we use it has evolved drastically over the years. With the advent of 5G internet, we are entering a new era of technological innovation that promises to transform the way we live, work, and play. 5G internet is capable of providing data speeds up to 100 times faster than 4G, making it the ideal solution for streaming high-quality videos, playing online games, and downloading large files on the go. 5G internet is already transforming cities across the globe, powering smart cities, self-driving cars, and virtual reality experiences that were once thought impossible. 5G internet is also paving the way for Internet of Things, allowing for seamless connectivity between devices and the creation of a truly connected world. For the first time in the Gambia, QCell is bringing tomorrow's technology to you today with the launch of QCell 5G Internet. Get ready to experience the out-of-this-world wonders of QCell's 5G Internet. For more information, call 111. QCell. We innovate, others follow.
The future is now. With QCell's 5G network, experience speeds like never before with our new 5G Rocket Fixed Internet plan. Get speeds from 10 Mbps to 100 Mbps. Your 5G-enabled devices. Walk into QCell headquarters to get one of our 5G routers and experience the true feeling of 5G. Only with QCell. QCell brings you the future. Tech, innovation, incredible speed. The future is now. For more information, call our customer care on 111. QCell, Sunyabus. We innovate, others follow. Terms and conditions apply.
QCell brings you the future with our ultimate bundles. Enjoy the best voice and data bundle plans in one package. Get unlimited data packages with flexible validity and enjoy what true internet feels like. Get 30 minutes of on-net and off-net calls with 5 gigabytes of data for just $350. Or get bigger bundle packages from 10 gigabytes to 20 gigabytes with over 100 on-net and off-net voice calls and enjoy the fastest internet speed in the Gambia. You can also buy 1-day, 3-day or even 7-day packages and enjoy unlimited data bundles with uncapped speeds. Just dial *343# today and experience the limitless capabilities of the QCell network. *343# should be your favorite code to dial now. For more information, call our customer care on 111. QCell, we innovate, others follow.
Step into the Espas Motors showroom for your luxurious name brand vehicle. Located along the Bertil Harding Highway, Espas Motors is the Gambia's authorized dealer for Chery, Kia.
Technology has always been at the forefront of our lives, and the way we use it has evolved drastically over the years. With the advent of 5G internet, we are entering a new era of technological innovation that promises to transform the way we live, work, and play. 5G internet is capable of providing data speeds up to 100 times faster than 4G, making it the ideal solution for streaming high-quality videos, playing online games, and downloading large files on the go. 5G internet is already transforming cities across the globe, powering smart cities, self-driving cars, and virtual reality experiences that were once thought impossible. 5G internet is also paving the way for Internet of Things, allowing for seamless connectivity between devices and the creation of a truly connected world. For the first time in the Gambia, QCell is bringing tomorrow's technology to you today with the launch of QCell 5G Internet. Get ready to experience the out-of-this-world wonders of QCell's 5G Internet. For more information, call 111. QCell, we innovate, others follow.
Welcome back from that short break. If you're just tuning in, you're watching QTV this morning. And now, Ibrahima, we're joined by Ami Cisse, Senior Marketing Manager, QCell, and Ahmad Jah, Chief Technology Officer at QCell. And once again, we're here to talk about the QCell 5G network. And, you know, it's just important that we continue with the sensitization just so people get to understand what we're trying to achieve as a network. So to start with, Ami, it's important that we understand why 5G at this point in time in 2023? Why not later than this? Why now?
Okay. I would pass that on to Ahmad, but before that, my question would be why not? Why is it accepted that as a country we should not be on top of things? Why is there the notion that we should not be ahead in terms of development, in terms of technological innovation? I think that is very contradictory if we want this country to develop as a nation. We look at other countries and we see all the things that are happening, and we all hope and wish that one day Gambia would be able to accomplish that. So now that we have introduced 5G, I think the question should be why not, rather than why 5G. Since QCell started, I keep repeating this, in 2009, one of the things we vowed to accomplish is the fact that we would bring the best technological innovations at the forefront for Gambians and at the most affordable price. And I think over the past 15 years, that's exactly what we've done. So there's no point of asking that question, really, but it's been going on. But my answer to that is why not? Why is QCell not at the forefront of this? And Jainaba, I would also want to say this. Not only are we the first to launch all these products, we were the first to launch a 3G network, we were the first to launch a 4G network, we're the first one to launch a 5G network, but we do it best as well. There's no other competitor in this country that can dispute what QCell has been able to accomplish as a telco, and the fact that we don't only do things, we don't do mediocre. Anything we do it well. We understand technology. Even before the inception of QCell, we all know that QCell came from QuantumNet, which was an IT company, a technological company. So nobody really understands this business better than we do.
Yeah, one thing I realized about QCell itself, it's not only rushing to launch, but also bringing quality.
Exactly.
For people. So, Ahmad, you might like to comment there.
Yes, thank you. Thank you very much, Balde. I think Ami has said it all. I mean, basically, the question is why not now? I mean, 5G is already a mature technology, whether we like it or not. There's already a development for 6G. And to tell you the fact, as of today, there is more than 140,000 networks across the globe that have already launched 5G. And this is not a joke, this is a fact. If you go to Ookla map, you can find all those networks that have already launched 5G. So why not us? Why not Gambia? You know, do we always want to be behind, or do we want to be at the forefront? As you know, our motto says that, you know, we innovate and others follow.
Absolutely.
I mean, we were the first to launch 3G, we were the first to launch 4G, and obviously we're the first to launch 5G. And, you know, we've started, you know, almost a year working on this 5G network. Obviously sometimes you don't have to tell everyone what you're doing. It's also a business strategy. But we've been on this, and we've engaged the regulator. They've done extensive tests to confirm. And more so to say that the mobile technology, I mean, it's a very controlled and standardized, you know, bodies that are, you know, developing these technologies and ensuring that the proper things are done when it comes to the network side and also the device side. So basically, if my network, if my phone comes up and it says that I have 5G and I'm getting those speeds, know that, you know, there are these bodies that 3GPP, IEEE, ITU, you know, these are all bodies that are, you know, you have experts that are actually developing this technology. 5G in itself is not a single technology, it's an array of technologies that are developed to enhance from the 4G to the 5G. I mean, in late time, I mean, if you want to think about it this way, if when we were born, we're growing up, you're not wearing the same clothes, right?
Yeah.
Because you are, you know, there's evolution, right? You're growing. As you grow, you need to change your clothes. So as the demand for speeds, for internet is coming, also the networks have to be able to handle that type of capacity. And I would say, I will also add that, you know, sometimes, you know, competition can be a little bit, you know, harsh on the other end, and you know, you know, being, you know, paranoid can get you to be a little bit, you know, exaggerated.
True.
I think there's a saying that says that, you know, the competition can actually, you know, steal my plans or copy my style, you know, but they cannot read my mind. So I would definitely leave them a mile and a half behind. I think that's all I have to
Let's
say.
talk about the speed. I mean, the difference between the 4G and 5G. It's important for us to at least talk about the difference.
Exactly. So basically, there's a big difference between the 4G and 5G when it comes to speed. Is you're talking about 30 to 40 times different in speed. When the 5G was developed, theoretically, it was supposed to be maximum of 20 Gbps. But logically, right now, around the globe, even if you go to the Europes and the US, average speeds you're getting for users that are on the 5G, they're getting around 400 Mbps to 500 Mbps. With our network, we have tested, you know, 1.5 Gbps, so which is actually above what the other global markets are actually getting on an average. So like we said, with the 5.5G and 6G, but again, the 5G, like I said, is an array of technology, and it combines a lot of other technologies to improve speeds, which involve antenna designs, which involve spectrum also, because with the 5G, the 4G was limited to the lower band. But with the 5G, now we can move to the higher bands, even up to the millimeter wave. But that would require us to have a different strategy on how we deploy. So we're going to have to deploy a denser network as we're going higher. So the higher the spectrum, the bigger the bandwidth you can have for higher speeds. But that means that we're going to have to deploy smaller cells as we go. That means more sites,
Yeah, but
you know,
I think,
rooftops.
Mr. Joe, with these terms, I think
Well,
people might be a bit confused
exactly.
as I am confused myself. So
Exactly.
maybe we'll just, you know, tone it down, just so we make them understand. But the next question you already answered about if this is real or not, because if you go online, if you have conversations with people, the doubt is that, is this actually 5G? Can Gambia really have 5G? That means that, you know, there's a lack of understanding
How
about
genuine
how to access
is the 5G?
5G. So maybe we can delve into that,
Yeah.
you know. Is it the whole country, the coverage, you know, and how do you also access it? Do you need to update your SIM card, all of that?
So basically, like I've already mentioned, obviously there's no question about it being a genuine. This is all behind a proper standardization, and all these bodies have already approved, and also we went certified.
Yeah.
So you cannot just fake the actual technology. If anybody is saying that, maybe because they don't know really how the technology works, but you cannot just easily just come and say that, okay, I have deployed a 5G network, you can see the 5G. It's not that simple, because it is all synchronized with the terminal and also the actual network to be able to do that. I think you also asked, there was another follow-up question to that about coverage. I think right now, yes, we've started with 5 sites.
Yeah.
5 sites is what we started. I think the last time we mentioned Banjul, Senegambia, Bijilo, Bakau Fajara,
and QCell HQ.
QCell HQ.
Which is the head
So
office.
it means clearly, just to put it in clear terms, that you have to be in these locations.
Yes, of
And
course.
because you know, people just want to open their phones and see 5G up top.
Yes, but looking at the past and with any telco, there's no technology that is rolled out at the initial stage throughout the country. Even with 4G, I don't think any operator right now has 100% 4G coverage, which we're working on. And I remember when we launched the 4G network as well, I believe we started with 10 or 15 sites.
Yes.
And the same applies to this. We started with 5, but we're constantly upgrading the network as per need basis. But these are the 5 locations that we've launched so far. And you have to be within the vicinity of these locations to enjoy the 5G network. Not only that, your device, your phone has to be 5G enabled. If you have a phone that's not 5G enabled, you're not going to enjoy the service.
Mine is 5G.
Are you sure?
Yes.
I have to verify that. And the most importantly, Jainaba, your SIM card has to be provisioned to enjoy the 5G services. You can use the same SIM card. You don't have to change the SIM card, but you have to visit our customer care outlets, and they would do the provisioning at the back end, and as long as you have a 5G device, you'll be able to enjoy the service straight away. If you do not have a phone that is 5G enabled, we have MiFi routers, which people are used to, not the ones currently in the market, but it's the same portable devices which you could walk around with. You could buy it from our customer care, and all of those MiFi devices and indoor routers are 5G enabled. So you could have it in your home as well, stationed in your home, or you could have the mobile ones which you walk around with.
Yeah,
I
so
mean,
Balde,
yeah.
I think it's also important, before I forget, we talk about the issue of the consumption of internet, maybe making people understand that with 5G, I want to know, does it mean that if you buy credit, maybe it's going to consume more or less, you know, with the credit issue, because people need to understand that maybe bigger means better or more.
Better speeds usually means more consumption.
Yeah, more.
Anywhere in the world.
Faster speed, not
Yeah.
more consumption,
Yeah.
but faster consumption.
Faster consumption. Yes.
Not more. The volume is the same, it never
Faster.
changes. But
Yeah.
it's faster because you're downloading at a greater speeds. Right now, let's say that you're downloading a file, 1 GB file. Maybe with the 4G speeds, maybe it could take you about 10 minutes to get it downloaded. But with the 5G, maybe it's 8 seconds
Wow.
that it would take you.
Super
So
fast.
that's just an example.
Okay.
But that is why we have bundles. That's why we have bundles rather than using it directly. We have bundles where you could buy like specific speeds and enjoy the service. And that is also the reason why we looked at our Sunyu bundle. I think people have been asking for that for the longest time. QCell should reduce their tariffs. I said it last week. There's nothing at this moment that is going down in terms of cost, whether it's fuel, whether it's food, whether it's commodities, whether it's transport. Everything is going up. But we decided to listen to our customers. And when we launched this on June 2nd, we actually did a massive reduction on our data bundles and our voice plans as well, just so people would be able to enjoy our service at a more reasonable price. Yes.
Well, I think it's interesting, but I mean, it's also important for us to clarify. If you get the MiFi router for the 5G, you need to be around the 5G.
The vicinity
yes,
is important.
exactly,
You
yes.
have to be around these locations. You know, at the moment, like Ahmad said, it's Banjul, QCell head office, it's Q-City Bigelow,
Bakau.
it's Bakau Fajara, and Senegambia.
Senegambia.
Yes, those
All
5
right.
locations. You have to be in that vicinity. If you happen to live there, then you would obviously continuously enjoy it, or if you work there. But it has to be within those specific areas. It's not countrywide, and we have to make that clear as much as we can. Yeah.
Someone sent a question the other day and said, can I use the 5G on my normal QCell MiFi router?
No.
Is that possible?
No, because the current the MiFis that we have out there are 4G MiFis. They're 4G enabled. They're not 5G enabled. But we have the 5G ones in stock, and we're selling it for people that want to enjoy
And
the
it's
service.
currently available?
It's currently available at the customer care. Yes.
So how long, Ahmad, will it take for us to roll out the 5G, maybe to upcountry and other
He's
parts
always
of the
questioning us
It's
about
very important.
No, no, it's a very important question.
Now the number of people that are using internet, phones, if you go up country, you'll be surprised the
No,
way
I
people
understand.
use internet. People use smart TVs now up country.
You'll be surprised. We're actually surprised at the adoption of the 5G. A lot of people are taking up the 5G right now. It's even more than what we expected. So it all depends on demand. You know, if we see that demand is growing, and also based on our business strategy, then obviously we'll have to keep up with the demand, because that is our strategy. We want to make sure that we're giving the customers what they're asking for. So yes, obviously we're actually thinking about, you know, expanding the network.
Exactly. You talked about cost. I mean, sometimes, you know, the consumption might be very fast, super fast. I mean, due to the fast of the how fast the internet is. But I think it's important for you to download at a faster speed. Maybe you want to download a file at a faster speed than, you know, going the trouble of, I mean, downloading through a very slow internet. So I think even if it will consume, let there be a faster download, I think.
The 5G plans are very reasonable compared to, I think, you cannot compare it with anything here, because the most people would get is fiber. And if you look at the tariffs that we have for the 5G plans, you cannot beat that for the service that you're getting. We always put cost into consideration when we come up with these things, because we understand the situation. And there's no point introducing a service that nobody can use or nobody can afford. So if you look at the tariffs, anybody can consult customer care at any point of time. It's quite reasonable. And like he said, we're quite amazed at the adoption of this service that we just did. So, so it's quite reasonable, and you get to enjoy the speed that you want.
Exactly.
Another misconception, you know, when you talk to people about the 5G is the fact that people believe that with the coming of the 5G, it's an automatic migration, like the 4G does not exist anymore. 3G does not exist. It's automatically the whole country is moving to that direction where maybe you have to throw away your 4G MiFi router because it's not going to work. So I think it's also important that people are aware that the other Gs also stay.
They all stay, whether you have a 2G phone, 3G, 4G, we're here for everyone. We cannot just introduce a new technology and forget about the rest, because people have different needs, and not even everyone has a 4G phone, Jainaba. Some people still have simple phones. I'm actually quite amazed that Balde has upgraded. Because
Definitely, I'm using 5G now.
So all the other Gs are still intact.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. So any other thing to put across?
I think maybe another thing to mention, I think people are having a little bit confusion about when we say the 5G is going to support a lot of connectivity in compared to the 4G. It's a massive device connection. And comparing it to our number of population, when we say that you can connect in a square kilometer, you can connect up to 1 million devices in a square kilometer, as with the 5G was about roughly around thousands. So basically, if you look at population, if you're counting number heads, you would go wrong, because now with the evolution and 5G, it's coming to also address IoT, which means that yes, I have a phone, it's using a SIM card. I also have my smartwatch that also uses a SIM card, right? In my house, I have a lot of devices, appliances also that are. So for me as a person, I might have up to 50 devices that are using same network that are using the SIM card. So you cannot count it one-to-one as per population. So, and this makes the network ready for that, you know, smart wall that we're actually talking about.
Wow.
Right.
Amazing.
That's it. All right.
All right,
Well, thank
Jay,
you so
I think
much
this
for
is all
joining
we
us. Hopefully with the sensitization, people will get to understand that there is 5G in the country, and there are rules and regulations as well governing it. to be able to use it. I think that's the most important part with the coverage and the fact that you also have to update your SIM card. I think, Balde, it's really important that people understand all of these rules.
Exactly, the procedure. I mean, it's important because there was a time someone asked, I need to come and change my SIM card and use the 5G. I said to him, you need to be, you know, these locations, the 5G areas.
And Balde, we've never been the operator to change SIM cards with any new technology that we introduce. I think that's key. Because usually with other telcos, you have to literally go in and swap your SIM.
Exactly.
That just tells you how far ahead we are in terms of what we do. Regardless of the technology we introduce, there's no swapping of SIMs. There might be activation at the back end, but you don't have to physically go and swap your SIM. Yeah.
All right, I guess that is all we have time for, Ibrahima.
Yes.
So tomorrow, inshallah, Julden Jaya and Ibrahima Balde will be here for an exciting show. Thanks for watching.